As we do on a Thursday, we talk a little business. We welcome in Patrick Remion, host of the Patty G Show. Patrick, good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Brian. I am super well. How are you?
Doing very well. So we got a lot of business to talk, and a lot of it is about the side hustle world.
It is, which ties into this week's guest, which we'll get to later.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Where do you want to start with side hustles? Do you want to start from the side hustlepreneurs standpoint, or from the employer standpoint?
I think we should start from the side hustlepreneur standpoint and kind of work into...
That's my word, by the way. I invented that word.
Side hustlepreneur?
Side hustlepreneur.
Is it all one word?
It's all...
Like all smashed together?
We can hyphenate it if you want, but yeah, you're not going to play it in Words with Friends because that's just too many letters. But it's... no, that's... Well, here's my thing, okay? I'm never going to be an entrepreneur. Can't put all my eggs in my own basket, right?
So... But why is it? Can we go down that path? Why is that? You think? Or do you? Why is it you think?
The God's honest answer is I'm too nice. I can't bill.
Okay, I get that.
Like the number of times I'll do something and when it comes around to it, like if I'm DJing something, I'll just be like, you know what? It's on me. I got this. You're fine. I mean, it's happened far too many times.
Yeah.
So,
and that is a real thing that every entrepreneur has to face one way or another, whether it's outsourcing someone to do it for them or they do it themselves. You have to be able to send a bill. You have to be able to call to collect. It took me a while to get to that point where I was okay following up saying, hey, your bill's still outstanding. When you going to send it? When it's 3 years in now, I'm like calling them, hey, you haven't paid yet.
I'm finally to the point where okay, so I have a number of different side hustles. I'm finally to the point with the DJing where I can say, yes, I'm going to have to charge you. But I'm also to the point where that is a ridiculous discount. So
you're still not charging what you think is full price for your time?
Correct.
Why?
I don't know. I don't take all the gigs. Hey, we got way too much to talk about me. We don't need to unpack my psychosis.
But that is part of the side hustle just situation that people find themselves in is they either are undercharging because they have that mentality of I'm doing it because I love it. I really don't want to be making all this types of money, but yet they are trying to go back to that side hustle because they love it so much. So I think it still does tie into the fact that at some point or another, you either have to charge everybody if you're giving people free whatever it may be, and you have to charge everybody to make enough money, or you have to bump up your prices to account for your time and charge them the true market rate.
Right.
And so going through that for you is part of the conversation.
No, it is. And then there's like I said, I've got multiple different side hustles, but yeah, billing, I can't do it. I feel bad taking people's money for something that I would otherwise do for them if they just, asked.
But you're not taking their money. You provided a service.
Anything you say out loud, I'm going to understand consciously. It's the subconscious here.
Yeah. Right. And so side hustlepreneurs have that mentality oftentimes. They just want to, whether it's test the waters with this hobby, they think they can turn into a business. And so they make this intricate little trinket or something, and they charge you a quarter of what they should be charging you just because they're trying to recoup some of their costs. At some point or another, they have to look at it and evaluate, am I charging enough? Am I charging everybody the same? What am I doing here?
Now, the other problem I have, I shouldn't say problem because it's going to sound bad when I say it out loud, is work-life balance, my family. Like, I have enough time invested in my regular gig. This isn't a 9-to-5 job, obviously, as it's not even 7 o'clock yet. It's not a 9-to-5 job, so to add a couple of side hustles on top of that, if I were to fully invest the time into making any of those side hustles a full-time gig, if I wanted to go jump off the entrepreneur cliff, I wouldn't. My kids are growing up. I would never know them.
Right, unless you were at the point where maybe just doing the one side hustle gig has turned into enough revenue that you wouldn't need the others.
Yeah, Catholic school's expensive.
Right. No, so, not denying that, but I'm saying that's some sidepreneurs, they can do that.
I'm hoping to have to pay for 2 weddings one day. Those are expensive. So, yeah. Sacrificing money is not really something we're capable of right now. But incorporating family time into the side hustle mix is a very important factor for those that have the side hustle. No matter how much you're turning and burning, if you're driving for DoorDash, if you're driving for Uber, Lyft, whatever. ASAP, is that the name of the local?
ASAP used to be Waiter.
Used to be Waiter. They call it ASAP now. Yeah, if you've got any of those gigs, booking yourself out all the time, at a certain point, you have to start looking at what is your time worth.
100%. And evaluating, are you getting paid for what you think your time is worth? The issue that you run into whenever you look at balancing family time, if you have a family like what you and I, like if we have, you and I, we have kids. So if you have that time, generally dinner time is whenever people are ordering with ASAP, Uber Eats and stuff like that. So it's hard to not work during the rush hour when you can make the most bang for your buck.
Right.
But if you're someone who is either single or with no children, you have a little bit more flexibility in that time, right? Because then when you have kids in the mix, it's like you want to be there as much as you can to do your part as a parent and make sure they're having a great life growing up. What you can do on the flip side is try to get a structure within your family life where it's like they're within a schedule and they're going to bed at a certain time. So, you know, they go to bed at 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got another hour, 2 hours, whatever it may be, to continue and pick up on my side hustle.
Exactly. And aside from the family, taking care of yourself.
Yes, having enough time to, whether it's you spend your mornings with just a cup of coffee, some tea, water, reading the paper, or just having a few minutes of yourself to gather your thoughts, get ready for the day, just some moments of quiet and peace, or at the night before you go to bed, having some time where you're not plugged in, you're not working, and just kind of resetting yourself is going to help you for the next day.
Make self-care a priority is one of the things on a list of the 10 things that folks at side hustles need to be doing. It says now that you're balancing a side hustle and full-time job, you may become overwhelmed or overworked. This is why self-care has to be a priority. When you give yourself quality time to relax and do things you enjoy without any pressure, it can be a huge stress reliever. The cool part here is self-care takes on it can manifest itself in a million different ways. If your daily workout is your thing, make sure that's your thing. If hitting up noon mass is your thing, keep that as your thing.
Right.
If sitting down and reading a book is your thing, so long as you're very intentional about it.
It's going to look different for everybody. And you also have to understand that it is okay to take time for yourself. You don't have to be working 24/7. You need to have that time for yourself and have that self-care.
But we're in a spot right now, Patrick, and we're going to have to break, so we'll continue this discussion on Facebook Live. By the way, we are on Facebook Live every morning. Of course, this segment will be posted back on the Mornings with Brian Haldane YouTube page after the show is over with. But the part I want to continue in the break is you say you don't have to be working 24/7. But we went from 2 years' worth of pandemic straight into recession or looming recession. And that threat of looming recession is going to stay with us. We're now well past our third year. Well, I shouldn't say well past our third year. We're now in our second year, heading into our third year of unbelievable uncertainty, increased cost of living, and a remarkable amount of demand for the dollars that we already take in. So while we get